this desire or this impulse of like, oh no, like I'm losing control. I don't know what's happening, that I feel like could only grow as they grow in independence. This is my suspicion of what might happen. And so for me, the reminder is... Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, Kurt.
Wow.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, guys. Have you noticed a theme for the last 3 episodes?
Calming music to start us off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you not consider it calming?
I was gonna say it's
and
more
relaxing.
like it's more 60s, like folky, like
Yeah,
upbeat folk music, which is okay.
Yeah, I like it.
It's almost non-existent. Like I'm listening.
It doesn't jar you.
There it is.
Yeah,
There it is.
It's subtle.
Like the ukulele.
I love ukulele.
Oh, really?
Hawaii. It's like vacation.
It is Hawaii.
Is it Hawaii?
This is kind of Hawaii. Yeah.
That's
It's got
kind
that
of my
kind
mind.
of vibe.
This is the montage driving down the Hawaiian coast with the waves splashing and people running around the beach.
Okay, pull it up a little bit, Chris.
And then Kurt jumps out of his truck with his surfboard.
North
And-
Shore.
Dolphins
vibes.
are jumping
Got
in
a
the
big
waves.
Kona's
in the
burrito.
back.
Okay,
one of
I
those
guess.
pork
Yeah,
burritos.
yeah.
People are
Yeah.
laughing and frolicking in the sand.
So when you think of Hawaii food, you thought of pork burrito. That's the first thing that came out of your mouth. So you got to stay with it. That's what came out of your mouth.
What I was thinking is
That's what-
surfing more, like because the burritos was surfing.
Okay.
But
So if I just said
Hawaii food.
you're on vacation in Hawaii,
Yeah.
Tina says it's 2:00.
yeah,
What do we want? What would you say?
dude, Ted's Bakery. You got to go with the spicy garlic shrimp.
Wow.
So
That's
good.
very specific.
Extremely
with the
specific.
That means he knows
salad.
his Hawaii.
There you go.
Oh, it's so
What
good.
would you
I
say?
was going to say Loco Moco. They're
Oh,
kind of rice egg.
I don't
meat.
love loco.
I don't
moco.
love it, but that's what I
It's like
think of.
Salisbury steak.
Have you had a loco moco at,
Gravy.
at Stacks in
No, I haven't.
Mission Vale, right here
Oh.
by the
No.
church, right down the street. Stacks,
really?
Stacks
I
Hawaiian
have, that's good.
pancakes.
No, I
They have a
haven't.
loco moco.
Yep.
That and acai. Hawaiian acai
now
Oh,
is
yeah, yeah, yeah,
delicious.
yeah.
You're getting closer to mine.
It looks so fresh.
100% every time I would say shave ice.
Shave ice.
Oh,
yeah.
Shave ice. The fluffy.
Yes, it's different there.
Because when
Is
you
it
go,
the ice
Yeah, well,
quality? Or the way that they make it?
I think it's actually the
Condensed
caliber
milk?
of the machine that's shaving the ice.
Yeah, because it's not icy at
no,
all.
it's fluffy. It's just
It's like almost
fluff.
creamy,
Yeah,
but it's ice.
fluffy. It's the best.
You
And
know-
you go someplace
we
here
get
and you
some?
ask for shave ice, and it might as well be a snow cone.
Yeah, it's like a...
The best shave ice on the planet is right down the street.
Snow to go.
Really?
Snow to go.
Snow to go is
Oh,
amazing.
I've never had
We have
that.
eaten shave ice in Hawaii, and then we
guys.
come here and eat, and then it's like, no, this is a little bit better.
How about Chris?
Yes,
You know I owe you a Starbucks.
yes.
How about if after
Oh.
we record, and Grace, you're welcome to come if you have time. She's got other things to do.
Yeah. Snow to go?
Snow to go.
I can't wait for you to tear all this down. I'll take you to Snow to
Oh
Go. I'll take you to Snow.
Dude.
Snow
Jump
to
in
go
here and
on
help
his
me
own
tear it
time.
down.
I don't want to help
No,
you.
actually
Oh
to
my
go,
gosh.
not sit down
I'll
to go.
take you to Snow to Go.
You can
And
do
then you can
work
come
in the room and let
back.
me go tear it down and return some
See,
calls.
now you're looking a gift horse in the mouth. You're putting conditions.
Gift you owe me, man. How is it a gift?
I like the idea. You guys can figure out when you go, but I like Snow to go over the Starbucks.
He got so passionate. Like,
You owe this to me.
It's just built up inside. It's been so long.
I didn't realize.
It's been so long.
I didn't realize. Forgive
What's
me,
been festering
producer.
there?
Forgive me, producer Chris, for
You guys can work it out over Snow to go.
not paying up on my.
Hey, I came up with a few names for the series.
Oh, good.
That I
Finally,
was thinking about.
finally, we're episode 3. We finally came up with.
Do
a
you
few.
like double dose parenting?
Okay.
Two tips at a time. Double
Oh.
dose parenting.
Okay.
Or how about pair up parenting?
Oh.
No,
2 tips, 1 episode.
is that the subtitle or is that another? Is that
I just put a bunch of
okay?
words
Keep going.
together.
Keep going. Ask,
Something with you guys being the dynamic duo. I like that.
Do you have chat GPT?
Is this ChatGPT ideas?
I can access
Yeah,
the
Two.
Gemini.
Let me do Chat GPT real quick.
Okay.
Two.
I don't know if that's going to be real quick, though.
Yeah, oh, have you ever done it? Let me show you how quick it is.
How about parenting
Let me show you how
pairing?
quick it is. Talk about something else for 15
pairings.
minutes.
Parenting pairings, a series of 2-tip episodes.
Okay.
I like a series of
The
2-tip
The
episodes.
2-tip tango. Dancing through parenting challenges.
Oh, wow.
That one's pretty good.
That's definitely a play
Okay,
off
this
of
is what
words.
I'm typing in Chat GPT.
Okay. What are you going to,
Give
what's the question?
me a title for a podcast series revolving
Around giving 2 tips
2
on a subject each episode.
tips per episode.
Okay. Boom. What does AI tell
Wow.
us?
I said give me a title, so they just gave me one.
Oh,
that
say-
quick. Twice told, double the wisdom.
Say, give me a bunch more. See what they say.
Give me 3 more.
I spent all this time writing these out.
Parenting perspectives, 2 tips at a time.
Oh, I like that one.
Duo insights,
one's
a double
so
dose of
lame.
advice.
Oh, I like double
Twin
dose.
tips, but they're not twin tips.
No, they're not the same.
why not?
I like the first one.
Pairing perspectives?
No.
Duo insights?
No. What was the first one you said? 2 tips at a time?
Twice told?
Oh.
Two tips at a time was their subtitle.
Oh, 2 tips at a time.
What about the
I like
2-tip
2-tips.
tango? Dancing through parenting challenges.
All right, we'll figure it out. We've got some
figure it out.
leads. but
Welcome back, everybody.
Yes.
Week 4 of our
Week 3.
week 3
Yes.
of our
Yes.
3-week episode.
4-week.
Title. Gosh.
Do it again. Ready, set, go. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back, everyone,
Tap it into that AI
to
again.
our 3rd
Tell you what to
episode
say.
of 4 that we're titling something around 2 tips.
Yes.
Each episode, Grace and I are each sharing one. Therefore, it's our top 2 tips
Yep.
on a subject. Today, as we now jump into it finally, is we are sharing 2 reminders to parents of teenagers.
Yes.
So if you're a parent of a teenager or you know somebody who is, and if you're not, you will be someday. In fact, Grace isn't yet.
Not yet.
So this is one that she's kind of decided she thinks
This is
she's
what I
going to lean into.
think.
Yep, that she's going to need to be reminded of. What are the top 2 things that we think every parent of teenagers needs to be reminded of? Grace, why don't you lead
You
in?
want me to kick it
Yeah,
off?
kick
All
it
right.
off.
So, as Kurt was alluding, my oldest is 12 years old. So, I believe that we would consider that preteen, but not fully teen. And my one reminder for parents of teenagers is what I have started to feel with her and learning from what hasn't worked already in some of the changes that we're already experiencing as she goes through puberty and we're seeing the changes happen very rapidly. Like we're in the middle of it. Something that I want to remind myself moving into this next season of parenting is to stay connected through curiosity. And the reason why I thought of this as the one tip that I wanted to share was I find myself as she grows in independence to want to have more control, because it feels like more and more things are going out of my control.
Yep.
And it's very different from when they were little. When they were born to pretty much now, it's like we had ultimate control. Earlier on, we controlled everything. I mean, you had to do everything for your child. So that wasn't even a question. It wasn't a question of how much can I control my child or not, or how much control do I have? That sense of stability, the sense of like, you know that you can keep your kids safe. You know, like what your kid is going through. It isn't really an issue when they're younger because you're just so ingrained into their everyday functioning.
Yep.
But as they are growing older, I'm finding there's conversations that they have that I'm not tracking. I don't know. There's things that they're doing, interests that they're expounding on where more and more things are out of my control.
Right.
And also they're experiencing the outside world in a way that I can't control the outside world.
Right.
Oh, that person said that to you? Well, I'm not just going to go to that person that kid and be like,
Right.
why are you talking to my child like that? Right? Like
Right.
there's more and more things where I'm like, do we get involved? Do we not get involved? Do we
Yeah.
let her handle it? When do we get involved? Right? So there's this desire or this impulse of like, oh no, like I'm losing control. I don't know what's happening, that I feel like could only grow as they grow in independence. This is my suspicion of what might happen. And so for me, the reminder is I think that the more, or the things that I've seen, just subtle hints of it, if I lean into that sense of control, it actually emits a sense of anxiety, or a sense of like I need to know too much, that actually pushes your kid away.
Yep.
Versus what I want to lean into, and my reminder for parents with teenagers is having that sense of curiosity of what your child, your kid, your teenager is going through, and allowing that curiosity to open the doors of connection.
Good.
Whatever the situation is. So reminder to myself not to be afraid of whatever topic or topics
Right.
my daughter might raise. And she's already raised some topics where I'm like, whoa,
Yep.
like, first of all, I didn't know you were struggling with that or going through this, or this is happening. And it's easy to just be like, oh my gosh, panic and like
Yep.
shut down. But I have to remind myself, if I am curious, like, well, what were you thinking when that happened? Or how did this start? Or where, or tell me a little bit more about what about that situation made you act like this, or to really just be so curious, like what are they going through, and not assume that I know, or not assume that I just have the answer for them, but to really explore as they're developing and growing, like what angles of things that they might be thinking in their own mind, I think will really help stay connected to a teenager when there are a lot of forces that are out there that could potentially be encouraging the relationship between a teenager and parent to go more distant.
Right.
And just the reminder I have for myself is just when do I feel safe to talk about anything? And it's really like if I was talking with you, Kurt, if I raise something and you immediately sort of assume you know,
Right.
but I haven't really finished
Yep.
exploring my thoughts, but you're just like, oh yeah, Grace, well, here's what I would do, or here's what you should do, or oh, I've been through that before, or why would you do that? Or like if you sort of immediately jump to a conclusion and or a reaction,
Right.
I'd be like, oh, okay, thanks for the talk, Kurt, and I'd be
Yep.
like, out of here. But if you were genuinely curious about like, oh, what was going on, and create this space for me to even explore what was going on with me, it feels like a space where I want to connect more. I want to lean into that space. And if we as parents could remind ourselves, that's when we feel the most invited to build a bridge and to be connected. That's going to be the same with our teenage
Yeah.
kid. If they feel that from us as parents, then they are going to want to connect. Maybe not all the time,
Right.
but to not sever the ties versus, which is I think super common in teenagers. And that's what I don't want. I
Right.
want to be there. I want to have a relationship
Yeah.
through all the phases of their development.
Yeah. Wow. For a mom who does not yet have teenagers, I think you're going to do.
We'll see how well we do
it. Well, and as you were saying, one of the thoughts that came to mind is a different angle of curiosity too, is to stay curious about the things they're curious about. Right. So instead of trying to,
I love that.
instead of trying to convince them to be interested and curious about the stuff that you're curious about, sports, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Be curious about the stuff that they're curious about, because that shows that you're interested in their world
Yes.
and you're willing to go into their world, which keeps communication open, as opposed to if they
Love
always have
that.
to figure out how to navigate dad or mom's world.
Right.
Right. That's so
good.
good, Grace. My reminder for parents, let me set the stage first, is that I think it's kind of a no-brainer, kind of common knowledge that as our kids get older, the consequences of when they get stuff wrong, the consequences of the mistakes they might get themselves into, the poor choices and all that, those consequences get bigger
True.
and longer lasting over time,
Right.
right? There's just more mistakes a 17-year-old could make that are bigger than a 4-year-old.
Totally.
And so we recognize that. What my reminder to parents of teenagers would be is that there is almost no mistake that you or your teenager can make that's catastrophic. There are big mistakes. Your teenagers will make big mistakes. Almost none of them are catastrophic. And what I mean by catastrophic, I guess how I would say is like they won't dictate the rest of their lives in catastrophic ways. They may shape and form a large portion of the rest of their lives, some of those bigger mistakes that the kid could make. But most of them don't fall into that category. So, for instance, maybe a very common one, excuse me, would be a junior or senior in high school, probably more of a junior because of when they're applying for colleges and such, right? But or maybe even more of a sophomore because
It's
it all
starting
matters,
early. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But they make some dumb choices
Okay.
and they don't get the grades they should get. And they don't qualify for the school that you and them hope they'll get into based on what they hope to do for a career someday. It's a pretty big mistake. Is it catastrophic? Is it going to totally dictate the rest of their life? Or is it maybe only as catastrophic as mom and dad choose to make it and how we respond to it? Might it slow down by a year them getting into the college they want? It might. Might it force them to attend a different college? It might. Could it disallow them from pursuing the career that they think they want when they're 16? It might. Is that catastrophic? I would suggest probably not. Probably not. Your 13-year-old, you've said you can't date until she's 16. You find out that at 13, she's been dating her 7th grade friend from school without you knowing it.
It's catastrophic.
7th grade dating. What does that really mean? Was she being dishonest? Yes. Should there be consequences and conversations? Yes. Did she lose a little bit of your trust? Yes. Could her and the boy have done some stuff that you sure wish they hadn't as young? Yes. Was it catastrophic? Probably not. Probably not. So you kind of go through the list of these mistakes and so often, and I get it, like as parents of teenagers, we're like, we just want to protect them from doing stuff that's going to ruin their life.
Right.
Or change the course of their life. And I don't disagree with that.
Right.
I think we can parent out of fear because most kids don't make those decisions that we're terrified of. Most of them don't make those big.
Right.
And if they do, even then, those mistakes aren't necessarily, by definition, catastrophic. All three of us, producer Chris, I'm sure you would say, Grace, you, and I would too, we all have friends who, when they were teenagers, made catastrophic mistakes. What society would say that was one of the ones you can't do as a teen. That's going to mess your life.
Right.
And now they're our age, and because partly of the grace of God, forgiveness, resiliency, life tends to self-correct over time. We mature, right? All of these factors. The life is long. And so even really big, tough mistakes, parents, don't let yourself determine that was catastrophic. Because if your teenager messes up big time, what you don't want him or her to hear is, well, you'll never get past that one.
Over.
It's over. You screwed your life up.
There's no hope.
Good luck now.
Yeah.
Right?
Your future is bleak.
Your future
forever.
is bleak. You in fact, you broke so much trust, we'll never trust you again. You'll never. Whoa. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
And that message that you send to teenagers, suddenly a big mistake became catastrophic when it didn't have to become.
Well, that happens.
And that happens a
lot.
It happens a lot, which is unfortunate. So that would just be my thing. I would say to parents over and over and over again. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Staying curious helps. Teenagers are going to make mistakes. Teenagers are going to make some pretty big mistakes. most of the time they're not catastrophic. Help your teenager learn through them, grow from them, stay involved. Going back to the last episode, you parents of teenagers, you are still the biggest influence in their life. So lean into that. And you get to influence their resiliency and how they view themselves and how they bounce back when they do make really big mistakes.
Right. And you're letting them and yourself stay hopeful for the future.
Yep.
And if you don't have hope, then what do you have? And if
Exactly.
it's too catastrophic, you're cutting off hope. And so that's really great, Kurt.
Well, thank you. Chris, producer Chris, you're awesome. Shave ice on me, buddy. Shave ice on me.
What is it called? Shave
That's
ice to
great.
go?
Shave ice.
Hot
Snow to go.
Snow to go.
Snow to go.
Look,
After-
your future is bright,
Yes.
Chris.
That's got a number 2 in it. Snow to go. Maybe we do something with that.
Tips
in the
to
title.
go.
It used
You know
to be
what?
called
2 tips
Snow
to go.
on the go.
It used to be Snow
and
on
then
the
they're
go.
like, hey, Snow to go.
Yeah.
Maybe let's call this series
2 tips
Snow
to go.
How about just 2 to go?
2
Two to go.
2 to go.
2 to go. I like it.
Makes me think
Two
of
to-
2
two-
frescoes.
It'll be the number 2 and then
Yeah.
the word
To
to
go.
2 to go.
To go.
Like, hey, I'll take 2 to go.
Yep.
Yep, there you go.
That's it.
Perfect.
We'll call it that.
It took us 3 episodes. You know what we did reveal? Though, I mean, some people have probably figured
I
this
think
out,
it's up,
especially
yeah.
if they
It's
watch.
fine.
But we oftentimes record multiple episodes in one setting, which is why we're recording all of these in one, which is why by episode 3, we still didn't have a title.
And why we're wearing the same
And
clothes.
why we're in the same clothes. Everybody, we'll see you soon. Thanks
Bye,
for listening.
everyone. Bye.